Great. Hi, everybody. We are on day 3 of Taxation Chapter 6, and we were just talking about the 1040 yesterday, that this is the tax return that we send in April 15 to tell the government what we earned, what was tax shelterable, so we will call those tax deductions soon. But this is what we tell the government through. So this is a piece of paper, it's a couple pages. It's really simplified now. Donald Trump, when he came in, changed it. So be ready for it to be subject to change in the future. So we formally report how much we earned, how much we've already paid in taxes, and then we figure out through this paperwork whether or not anything was tax deductible. And then we tell the government what we should have paid. And then sometimes we've overpaid, sometimes we've underpaid, and we're going to figure all that out with this piece of paper. So it's by April 15 that we do this. So it's just a formal report. How come some people pay and other people get money back? A lot of people get very confused about this. And starting in the spring, when people start to file early, they start to get money back from the government. We call these tax refund checks. And the stores love this. You will see marketing like crazy usually, not this year with coronavirus, but usually you'll see heavy sales and they almost talk about money burning a hole in your pocket. And they're talking to people with this tax money because they know that this is kind of money that they didn't budget for. And now they have this money and they don't have really a plan for how to spend it. But what I want you to remember is that this is your salary. You've accidentally overpaid your salary to the government, and now they're giving it back to you because you've given them too much money. So all they're doing is returning your salary. So just like you budget your salary, you should be budgeting this tax return. So if you choose to overpay, because you choose to fill out your W-4 where you're going to pay your taxes month by month and it's probably going to be off. So if you do that, which most people do, then be aware sometimes you're going to have to owe money, sometimes you're going to get money back, and if you get money back, you need a plan. Don't just drop it on anything. So if you're going to drop it on anything, make sure it's something that you really in your heart would actually spend a paycheck on, because sometimes this is a substantial amount of money. It's kind of insane that people just go blowing it on nothing. So, if you want to train your brain and start to think like, what would I do with this? Consider it an extra paycheck. Maybe it goes straight into retirement, pay your future self. Have a plan for this money. This is money you worked hard for. This is not a gift from the government. This is an, oops, you made a mistake and gave us too much money. Here's your money back, your hard-earned money. So train your brain before you get one of these tax returns. April 15, back in the old days, you had to get your 1040 postmarked by April 15 for the government to accept it. So, I remember as a kid, people just driving frantically to the post office to make sure that they got the stamp on it and it went out. Nowadays, it's a digital send, so it's really not as stressful as it was back in the day. We used to have snow issues and all kinds of crazy stuff, but nowadays it's really low key. I don't think that they take it on Sundays. It's just kind of chilled out a lot since I was a child. So, but that is the day that the government expects you to send that report to them, and the report is called the 1040. On your income taxes, you're going to have to tell them about the FICA taxes. Now, these are your federal income taxes. That's your Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Sometimes it's called OASDI. And then your personal income taxes are just everything that's coming out of your personal paycheck. So that's your state and your FICA, your federal. So personal income, when we talk about that, that's both state and federal level. When we talk FICA, we're just talking the federal level of government. What is FICA? Well, this is your Social Security payment to retirees and disabled person. If you are old and if you are disabled, you will qualify for these paychecks. And every month they send you the same amount of money. You can spend it on cat food. You can take your family on a cruise. I don't recommend that right now. You can pay your mortgage. You can pay your grocery bills. This is just cash to use at your discretion. This is also the system that is being threatened because we have so many people on Social Security and fewer people supporting them. So over time, it's becoming a very saturated, top-heavy system, and it's going to be difficult to predict how it's going to be impacted by the time you are older. So keep your eyes wide open. You're going to hear about this as adults. This is not a retirement savings plan. Don't rely on this. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. So that's just how you have to go with Social Security. Medicare is the medical insurance system. So we've got Medicare and Medicaid, and those are going to go to qualified people, and it is money to pay for claims of financial costs due to health. So it is an insurance plan. So medical insurance. Always keep that straight. Capped. Now, when they tax us to pay for Medicare and Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, they tax 100% of your salary no matter how much you make. But Social Security, they cap it. Now, capping is kind of confusing and the amount does change, but all they're saying is that Social Security will not tax you after the first $110,000 of your salary. So if you make $200,000, the top part of your salary doesn't get taxed towards Social Security. They're only going to tax the first amount of your salary up to $110,100. All the other part, you get to keep all of it. You don't get to pay Social Security on the upper part of your salary. So if you have questions on that, just shoot me an email. I can always try to draw it somehow in a video too, if that's a little confusing to you. No cap on Medicare. There is a chart on page 103 if you want to reference that. Personal business owners, this changes all the time, but just understand that as soon as you're self-employed, there may be additional costs. I'm not so sure this year what that looks like. I haven't done my research. But if you're going to be owning a business, you need a tax professional to advise you, or you need to do some heavy research because there's different taxation depending on how you file as a company. So just be aware that you can get hit hard. You can also get hit hard if you live in one state and work in another. Like there can be multiple states taxing you. So just be aware, and it changes all the time. So checkpoint, what are payroll taxes? Keep it simple. Taxes that come out of your paycheck to pay for government services. Kind of simple. Federal and state level. That's it. Simple, simple, simple. Oh, I think we know this. You have a filing status. We talked about this. So depending on how you file, you got to choose one. You're either single, you're married filing separately, head of household, blah, 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 all those things. So you have to look at that. And sometimes you can qualify for multiple qualifiers, multiple filing statuses. Sorry, I was blanking on the word. But you just have to decide with your tax consultant or weighing the differences. You can choose one or the other. Pay attention. I mentioned this previously. You might make enough money that you start to impact your parents' taxes. So definitely keep them in the loop. Hold on to that thing called a W-2. It comes in January that tells you how much you've made and how much you had paid already in taxes. And your parents probably are claiming you as a dependent at this point in your life because you depend on them for money. And so you cannot file without talking to them. So just pay attention to all that. I'm sure your parents have a clue, but just don't think that you're all alone in this right now. Gross income. We've talked about this, that it's your paycheck before taxes, but it's also things that you've earned money on. All of this is taxable, and if you look at this list, there's a lot. So you've got your wages, but you've got interest income. So if you've earned interest on any of your investments, dividend income. So if your stocks earn dividends, then you've got income coming in. You've got capital gains when you sell something for more than you paid. All of this stuff is also subject to taxation. Some people get paid to go to school, by the way. So anything beyond the cost of tuition and books, you might have to pay taxes on that too. So super, super smart students. Gotta think about that. Okay, now we're getting into like politics here, so don't judge, just read it. Let me offer you my definition of social justice. I keep what I earn, you keep what you earn. Do you disagree? Well, then tell me how much of what I earn belongs to you and why. Walter E. Williams. Now, this is going to launch us into our debate, and there's going to be work for you to do to get ready for this debate today. So, I'm going to stop there today, and you're going to go switch gears and you're going to look at my debate unit, and we're going to start to do work on that. Thanks, guys. Bye.